Imagine plunging deep beneath the oceans, not the oceans we know today, but the seas of over 500 million years ago. The world was young, strange, and dangerous. Life was exploding into countless new forms. Some were small, harmless, and fragile. Others, however, became the first great predators, the monsters of their time. Among them, one stands out as perhaps the most extraordinary and terrifying of all, Anomalocaris. This is the story of a creature so bizarre that for decades scientists struggled even to understand what it looked like. A predator that dominated the seas long before dinosaurs, long before sharks, long before even the first fish had evolved. For nearly 20 million years, Anomalocaris was the apex predator of the Cambrian world. In this one-hour journey, we will uncover its discovery, its anatomy, its hunting strategies, and its role in one of the most important chapters in the history of life, the Cambrian Explosion. We will explore how it ruled the oceans, how it eventually vanished, and why it remains one of the most fascinating animals that ever lived. The discovery. The story of Anomalocaris begins in the late 19th century, when paleontologists exploring the fossil-rich shales of Canada stumbled upon something strange. But they didn't know it at the time. The fossils were fragmented, scattered, and confusing. One part was thought to be a shrimp, another was mistaken for jellyfish, and a third, a strange, pineapple-like shape, was labeled as a sea cucumber. For nearly a century, these pieces were studied separately, believed to be parts of different animals. Only later, in the 20th century, did scientists realize the shocking truth: these fossils all belonged to one enormous creature, a predator unlike anything else ever discovered. Its name was Anomalocaris, meaning abnormal shrimp, and it would become a symbol of just how strange the early oceans really were. A body built for predation, Anomalocaris was not small. While most Cambrian creatures were only a few centimeters long, Anomalocaris could reach up to 1 meter in length, making it a true giant of its age. Its body was long and flexible, lined with pairs of flaps that rippled like wings underwater. These flaps allowed it to swim with a graceful, undulating motion, gliding silently through the ancient seas. But the most terrifying features were at its front. Two massive appendages, like spiked arms, extended forward. These claws could snap shut with precision, grabbing prey and pulling it toward the creature's circular mouth. That mouth was unlike anything seen before or since, a ring of hardened plates, spinning and crushing like a set of deadly jaws. Inside, rows of tooth-like structures could shred through the tough exoskeletons of trilobites and other armored prey. Above this frightening mouth sat two enormous compound eyes. Fossil evidence shows they contained tens of thousands of individual lenses, rivaling the vision of modern dragonflies. With such incredible eyesight, Anomalocaris could spot prey from a distance, track their movements, and strike with deadly accuracy. The apex predator of the Cambrian seas were crowded with new life. Trilobites crawled along the seafloor. Worms wriggled in the mud. Sponges and strange filter feeders grew in clusters. But all lived in fear of Anomalocaris. With powerful swimming flaps, it could glide quickly across the water. With lightning-fast claws, it could snatch prey before they had time to escape. And with its circular mouth, it could crush through hard shells, a terrifying innovation in a world where armor was only just beginning to evolve. For millions of years, Anomalocaris reigned supreme. It was the shark of its day, the tyrannosaur of its age, the undisputed ruler of the Cambrian seas. The Cambrian Explosion. To understand why Anomalocaris is so important, we must place it in the context of the Cambrian Explosion, a period around 541 million years ago when life diversified at an unprecedented rate. In just a few tens of millions of years, most of the major animal groups we know today made their first appearance. Before the Cambrian, life was simple. Soft-bodied organisms, algae, and bacteria dominated the planet. But during the Cambrian Explosion, evolution ran wild. Eyes evolved for the first time. Shells and skeletons appeared. Predators and prey began an arms race, and Anomalocaris was at the very top. Its size, its speed, and its vision made it one of the most advanced creatures of its time. It represents one of evolution's first great experiments with large, complex predators. A creature of controversy. For decades, scientists debated what Anomalocaris truly looked like. Early reconstructions showed it as a clumsy, shrimp-like creature. Later, models made it look more like a sea monster. Only with the discovery of more complete fossils in the Burgess Shale and other formations did the full picture emerge. Even today, debates continue. Did Anomalocaris have soft, delicate flesh, or was its body armored? Could its mouth really crush the shells of trilobites, or did it prefer softer prey? Was it a solitary hunter, or did it move in groups? These questions remind us how much mystery still surrounds this ancient predator. The fall of a giant. Despite its dominance, Anomalocaris eventually disappeared. By the end of the Cambrian, new predators were evolving. Early fish, with jaws and bony skeletons, began to take over the seas. Trilobites developed harder shells. The world was changing, and Anomalocaris, specialized as it was, could not keep up. After nearly 20 million years at the top, it faded into extinction. But its legacy lived on. The evolutionary arms race it helped ignite shaped the future of life on Earth. Without predators like Anomalocaris, the path of evolution might have been very different. Legacy and importance. Today, Anomalocaris is remembered not just as a monster, but as a symbol. It represents the strange, alien worlds of Earth's deep past. It reminds us that life has taken forms far stranger than anything we see today. And it teaches us that even the greatest of predators can vanish, leaving only fossils to tell their story. In museums, reconstructions of Anomalocaris capture the imagination of visitors. In scientific research, it continues to challenge and inspire. And in our imagination, it lives on as the great terror of the Cambrian seas. Conclusion. Anomalocaris was more than just an abnormal shrimp. It was one of the first super predators in Earth's history. With its massive size, its powerful swimming flaps, its deadly claws, and its terrifying circular mouth, it dominated the seas for millions of years. It lived in a world where life was experimenting with new forms, new strategies, and new survival tactics. It thrived in the chaos of the Cambrian Explosion. And though it is gone, its fossils remind us of the wild, unpredictable story of life. So next time you imagine the prehistoric past, don't just think of dinosaurs or mammoths. Think deeper. Think stranger. Picture the shadow of Anomalocaris gliding through murky ancient waters, eyes glimmering, claws reaching, jaws spinning. A nightmare from 500 million years ago, and a reminder of how truly alien our own planet once was.